There's a lot of fear in the streets of Port-au-Prince tonight.
It's almost impossible, in fact, to establish communications with a lot of folks in Port-au-Prince.
It was a magnitude 7, possibly the strongest quake ever to hit that region.
In reference to Haiti, some people do see things as they are and say why. And I dream things that never were and say why not.
Taxi 10, ready for departure, country. Okay, course heading 2400. 015, left canal down departure. Let's do it.
My grandfathers, my father were in aviation professionally, and my mother was in healthcare. I grew up with a sense that aviation and healthcare could blend.
Stu Hirsch is the president and CEO of Archangel Airborne, a Pennsylvania-based nonprofit organization designed to provide free, sustainable medical assistance to devastated regions and populations across the globe. At age 45, Stu is both a career medical professional and an aviator. He also supervises a flight training program with this man, longtime friend and business partner Mike Lovelace. When a magnitude 7 earthquake struck Haiti in January of 2010, the pair decided to combine Mike's planes with Stu's emergency medical training to help the island nation recover.
It's been an experience that stemmed from my earliest memories. The ability of the aircraft and aviation was one of the primary foundations of my upbringing. And as I grew into adulthood, I started feeling that aviation could be used to bring teams of people into areas of great need.
We want to leave an imprint on the country and on the people. It's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and where else would you go than the poorest? Start from there.
Now, 2 years since their first journey to Haiti, Stu and Mike are flying supplies from Archangel's headquarters in Honesdale, Pennsylvania, to Haiti's capital of Port-au-Prince in this compact 6-place aircraft. Upon arrival, they'll meet up with additional volunteers in Port-au-Prince to begin shuttling gear and medical supplies to the Haitian city of Lacaille.
I worked on gathering the right people that I wanted to have in place for this operation. I worked on developing professional aviation skills and networking with other aviators and other people in the field, as well as healthcare professionals.
All of these professionals are volunteers, donating both their time and personal dollars to provide Haitians with health care. This is Archangel Airborne's 5th medical mission to Haiti since the devastating 2010 earthquake. Though 2 years have passed, demand for the volunteers' medical services is still high. Lacaille didn't experience as much physical earthquake damage as other areas, but the city's health infrastructure became overwhelmed as refugees from Port-au-Prince fled to Haiti's southern peninsula. Stu believes the work he and his crew do here may become a response template for other global disaster areas.
We're looking more of a sustainable model of care rather than just an episodic presentation of, we're here on the scene, we're going to be here for one day and that's the one day only. I really want to work to build that system of care that is sustainable, that's effective, and that ultimately produces better healthcare outcomes for the people that we're working with.
Here in the remote village of LaPorte, news of Archangel Airborne's free clinic drew a crowd.
Some people here in these villages don't even know what their birthdays are. Some of them have never seen a physician or any medical provider.
And that if I take care of her and then take care of
The team began their clinic with 3 hours of first aid instruction, training villagers to help themselves in the absence of medical providers.
They were very receptive, they seemed interested. We concentrated on how to care for bleeding cessation, and also how to care of fractures and how to stabilize patients with accidents.
I never know what I'm going into until I get there. I do know that oral rehydration formula definitely was understood. That's 1 liter of clean water, a half teaspoon of salt, and 6 teaspoons of sugar.
The Archangel volunteers soon discovered many of their patients had arrived with severe cases of hypertension and intestinal issues.
We saw some patients with extremely high blood pressures, 200 over 130, that kind of range. In the United States, if you were symptomatic and you had a blood pressure like that, you'd pick up your phone, dial 911. A paramedic would be at your doorstep in 5 to 10 minutes, be treating you, and then you go to a fully equipped emergency room and probably be admitted and then follow up with a physician. None of that happens here. The challenge is to figure out a way to still make a difference even though we don't have the resources that we have back home.
So this patient came in for checkup. Her blood pressure is really high. It's 190 over 110. She also has some heartburn, and she also fell not too long ago, and she has pain in her legs and in her back. So the plan for this patient today will be to mobilize her blood pressure, give her some medication to lower the blood pressure, educate her on a low salt diet and drinking a lot of water, and also I'll give her something for pain.
This is really a pretty robust clinic day. We realized that we had a situation where the prescribers or the providers, medical providers, were ordering some medications that we didn't actually have to dispense. And so we regrouped, we organized the medications they had brought into one cohesive whole so we could reference them. We created a list for them so they had a reference list of what we had on hand so they know practically what do we have on hand and then what do they need to order.
This is just one tablet once a day.
Luckily, the people of LaPorte do have access to a local pharmacy.
Some of the team, they were a little stressed at first because this is a fresh situation for them. They're not used to necessarily just setting up and being in a rural situation. So for some team members, it was a new experience.
This is Team Archangel's second clinic experience with local Haitian doctor Jimmy Almoza. He is tasked with helping Stu and the team develop larger clinics, ultimately bringing more supplies and care to rural parts of the country.
En Haïti, il y a plusieurs difficultés par rapport à la médecine. À cause de moun yo pas joine problème économique fait moun yo kon pa ka aller dans l'hôpital.
We're not coming in and setting up a clinic and totally bypassing the existing facilities that are here. We are working in conjunction with the doctor who has clinic, who has other physicians with him. And by doing that, we're helping and supporting him. Because if you come in and you undermine the existing structure, whatever that is, and you're not sustainable, you just took out what they had, and then when you're gone, they've got nothing.
On this first long clinic day in LaPorte, the Archangel Airborne team provided care to over 400 patients.
A lot of people feel, really happy to be here. We have people of all ages. We have little children, some injuries, some chronic diseases that we're working on here.
We've actually picked up on a number of cases of diabetes here. We'll take all that information after the clinic is over, and we'll do an analysis of what the common presentations were so that we can continue to improve our preparation and want to deliver good care.
The team saw this day as a positive kickoff for what was to come in other villages during the mission.
We try to learn more about how we can, increase our presence in this country and make it more of a long-term, permanent effort.
Each person here brought their skills to the table, and we maximized those skills and put them together, and that was very special. And that's what you hope for. And that's why I consider this fifth mission to be just a great testament to what people can do with focus and that dynamic flow. Eminise Lewis is Haitian American, and so she brings a great component and dynamic to the team by understanding the culture, understanding the people. She's very knowledgeable. Kristen Daniels, working as a PA in emergency services and also in urgent care, has a great balance between what needs to be done and her sense of organization. Chuck Atwell, seasoned paramedic, able to get it done when it needs to get done and jump into an emergency situation and make things happen. Dan Desmond with his interpretation skills that shows the people we're not just here to drop into your situation and and just throw medicine at you or save a few lives. You know, we're here not only to do that, we're here to really partner with you, and we have people on the team who can speak your language. Mike Lovelace, my fellow aviation officer, when he's not in the aircraft, he's flexing and flowing, seeing where he can fit in. Ayal Lindman's experience with the Haitian population, being here since the earthquake, helping with disaster response. He's comfortable in this culture.
It's the morning of Archangel Airborne's second clinic. They're headed to the village of St. John. But before they go, Stu and the team gather to review their objectives and supply levels. It's quickly determined Stu and Eminice must travel to the local pharmacy to pick up additional medication.
We were just able to get enough medications to do the clinic today for $127 US. The money that's donated gets used, so it goes directly to the people, and that's what we work to do.
En route to St. John, the team hit a minor bump in the road, causing their tap-tap to go putt-putt.
The tap-tap is it's a small pickup truck with benches in the back and a cover, and the reason they call them tap-taps is because that's the sound that the engine makes, because they're usually not maintained very well.
Go. Our truck started to lose power going up one of the steep hills, and it lost so much power that it pretty much came to a halt. Our guys put rocks behind the rear wheels, and then we in the back, 3 of us jumped out and had to push the tap-tap up the hill to give it a boost. You just had to do what you had to do. We had to get to that clinic.
The clinic takes place here, inside this local church, making it the closest medical care these residents have ever encountered.
I think we're going to be able to help a lot of people today. And this is an area that obviously doesn't get a lot of attention medically, and it's very difficult. There are hospitals that they could go to, but the difficulty of getting there is a burden for a lot of people, so we're trying to relieve that as much as we can.
Normalement, nous avons plus de 200 personnes, et sans compter Timoun, parce que Timoun n'a pas fait 4 pour eux. Nous faisons plus que 204 pour grand monde, sans compter Timoun. Si nous avons compté Timoun, nous avons presque 300 personnes. L'activité que nous avons fait là-bas, médicaments gratis.
I see the clinic is very important. So that's very important. I see some people who come from America and who come to give the people in Haiti some medicine. So I'm very pleased for that.
The fact that this clinic is in a church, it's special because, Archangel was set up as a non-denominational organization, but we all do have faith, and these people obviously have faith. This is their church. So they come here to worship, and now they're coming here to be healed.
Back home, we're so used to having any kind of supply we could possibly want, and here we have to be more efficient about it, or learn how to reuse things, or obviously in a sterile way.
As it turns out, getting by with less is a lifestyle well known to the residents of St. Jean.
Everybody just wants love and attention, and they want to be cared for.
People see earthquakes or they see disasters on the news and sort of sanitized. When you hear the sounds, the smells, the people, it's reality at this point. You see what's really like.
If you judge yourself by what you own, if you judge yourself by what you have, there's one fact that I know for sure. Like this, your world can disappear. And I've seen it in many, many places.
With another successful clinic day completed, the team kicked back for some much-deserved rest and relaxation. But the cheers and smiles were short-lived and quickly replaced by shouting and panic.
We suddenly heard screams that someone needed help. We immediately started bolting. We were in a flat-out run, grabbing our gear and going, and trying to get there to isolate or see what was happening. As I pushed through the people, I saw that it was a young woman, probably in her early 20s. And I looked down and saw that she was dead.
We saw with the woman on the beach that, if we weren't there, I'm not sure when medical help would have arrived, if ever.
It took maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes before the police even showed up at the scene. We would have liked to have been able to save her, and we were ready to, except there was no saving her. You could feel the change in the team after that experience. You could look in the faces of the team, and they were thinking about that she had died. It reminded us that we have to accept death as well as understand that death is part of life.
Hopefully we can increase our operations so that we get down here on a regular basis and really make a big difference in these people's lives.
I usually take a morning run to go out, clear my mind, see the city. I look around and I look at the situation of the people as I run through the streets, and I look at how people are living. And it inspires me to continue doing the work that we're doing in support of the public health care here. And it helps me to focus and to come back with a clear mind for our agenda.
After the unexpected challenges of the previous evening, Stu and the team eagerly geared up their supplies and their resolve to positively impact more lives at the next clinic.
We're packing up and get ready to head off to St. Louis and another full day of clinic and education, and it's going to be pretty great. I'm really looking forward to it. We've treated so far almost 500 people in 2 days.
The remote areas that we're serving in are difficult to get to. It's not always easy, but it's worth it, because if we can go work with populations at risk, people who are suffering from disparity, from extreme poverty, if we can get to them and help to make their lives better, to give them a better quality of life, that is the fulfillment of our mission.
With medicines, with supplies.
We have the 3 doctors, providers setting up over here. We're going to be seeing patients over here. We're going to have a pharmacy in that room over there. They are setting up all the medications.
These rural villages outside of the city don't really have access to health care the way they do in the city. So, you know, for them coming to this clinic is huge.
With 2 clinic days worth of experience behind them and motivation from last night's tragic event, the team seems to be operating at a faster pace.
Training session actually went really, really well, and went over oral rehydration formula, how to make safe potable water, splinting, bleeding control. The literacy level was a lot higher, so I was able to actually hand out a booklet that would explain that to them. I love working with kids, and a lot of times you just don't understand what's going on, so just talking calmly, letting them be safe. If they don't want to be away from their parent, let them be examined in the arms of their parent. Evidently, that's somebody who's been really traumatized by a stethoscope, because just the sight of a stethoscope scared him.
But for one mother, a different sight has her scared: the meek and pained cries of her child.
There was a baby that was severely dehydrated from having diarrhea for several days. It also sounded like she had pneumonia as well. So we were trying to start IV fluids on her.
Because of the child's illness, locating a vein was challenging.
Anytime you see a child in pain, it just, you see your own child's face on that crying or very, very sickly child, and it's so difficult to watch.
Thankfully, Chuck finally found a vein, providing the baby girl with the IV fluids and antibiotics she needed.
If the baby stayed in that area without intervention, the baby could have died.
At this point, the child is far from being in the clear. She still needs monitoring and additional care.
The closest pediatric unit was at Lakai Hospital, so the baby was transported to Lakai from the clinic.
Transported not by an ambulance, but by the fastest means available, the tap-tap.
I feel fortunate that we were there to help out. I am hopeful that the baby will survive. I think we started the first chain of the baby surviving. Sometimes we're in the right place at the right time to help, and we were today.
And sometimes you're in the right place, but without the right tools, as was the case toward the end of the clinic, when a supply shortage meant some villagers could not be seen.
It would have been nice to be able to see everybody that needed to be seen, but we were also running out of medication and that sort of thing, so you do what you can.
We diagnosed a lot of conditions, we treated a lot of children, we were a lot of help. I felt like we did so much. I am very happy with what we did, and I feel very fulfilled.
By day's end, a total of 200 patients were treated in San Luis. Despite the turnaways, the team considered the day a win.
You can't save or you can't help everyone in one moment. You do the best that you can do. Know that you tried to do the best that you can do. and plan for the next day.
Following the clinic, Dr. George took the Archangel team to one of his favorite places, a local beach, to show them there's more to Haiti than pain, poverty, and devastation.
It's kind of sad to see how beautiful the country is and how much potential there is. Like when we saw the ocean town, how beautiful the ocean is.
Everyone who's come here, if they come once, they're not the same person when they go back. Yeah, they're changed.
The team is prepping for their fourth and final clinic day. The destination is the town of Caye-Coke on the island of Île-Vache, located along Haiti's southern coast. But to get to this last clinic, the volunteers of Archangel Airborne must go aquatic with a ride on this powerboat.
We got here through a wet and wild boat ride where we had to climb out of the boat and wade through the water, carry our equipment all around to make sure we didn't get some stuff wet. It was actually pretty interesting, and you know, we got completely soaked, but it's worth it. This place is absolutely beautiful.
I think it's one of the most heavenly places on earth. It's a beautiful, beautiful island with almost no pollution and no cars, and everybody seems to be living a really simple and peaceful lifestyle out there. It's paradise.
It's reported to have between 10 to 12,000 residents who are spread out over the island. And there's really a very basic clinic, if anything at all, on the island, and no permanent physician.
The team assembled their belongings and medical supplies inside the town's main church. And like previous days, the volunteers begin with first aid lessons before soaring into their final clinic.
It's amazing just watching everybody having, you know, their own skill. You know, I love the flow that we were able to set up in the clinic.
At times it feels really overwhelming, like how are we going to help? This is, you know, there's so much to help with, there's so much that needs to be done here. But I feel like we're able to each time also find ways to make another little notch and start to make a difference.
Yo estoy viendo y yo vi desde una semana que estamos iniciando esa actividad que la población recibe con mucho cariño. Ellos tenían mucha necesidad.
The team's expertise was put to the test yet again, as another very dehydrated baby caught their immediate attention.
The baby came in very, very lethargic, very dehydrated, nausea, vomiting. Hasn't been going to the bathroom, hasn't been eating. Hopefully the IV hydration will allow him to feel better enough so he can eat and drink again.
But as the team started to finish their last clinic day, their colleague, Thomas Michael Lovelace, or TML, needed some TLC.
I sort of got dehydrated a little bit, and I took a little nap on the back bench of the church, and I tell you, and just don't take a nap in front of a bunch of medical people because they stick IVs in you, so that's what happened.
What also happened was the completion of the team's final clinic, bringing the tally of their 4-day medical mission up to over 1,000 patients.
I feel wonderful and tired at the same time, and we did a lot of really great stuff for a lot of people. I've never been on one that was so well organized and so effective. This is an experience I'll never forget.
We're going to spend the night here, and then we're going to start transporting people over tomorrow morning to Port-au-Prince for their trip back to the States commercially.
Living and working with people for a week definitely makes you learn more about them and just, you know, bond with them and grow closer as a team. This place makes me feel alive, and it's really cool.
Stuart Hirsch does an amazing job of coordination, logistical planning, tactical targets, but at the other side of the coin, he can be also, you know, the balance between relaxed and having fun and smiling, acknowledging people, truly. It's nice to work with, and it's been a delight.
It has been a wondrous unfolding to see this dream come to life. But the wonder of it all is the look of gratitude in the people that we serve.
We're not asking these people for anything. We're helping them, we're there to help them, and we're not asking them to do anything in return other than, as they are, very, very grateful for the help that they've been given.
I feel like my heart is with Haiti now. I really am excited to come back and keep working on making our system even better and come up with more ways that we can help and kind of tweak things so that we can make an even bigger impact each time.
We can always look back on this mission and know that we learned a lot on this mission and there were a lot of things we did right.
If we can do this in Haiti, where characteristically people feel there's no hope in Haiti, if we can do this in Haiti, we can do this anywhere.
Anywhere that may be reached by a wing and a prayer.